Everything you learned in history class was a lie. Well, maybe not everything, but they skipped the best parts. Introducing Stupiracy, where stupidity meets conspiracy. Ever heard of the Olympic marathon that nearly killed its runners? Or the time a pope put another pope's corpse on trial? Join me, Scott Rizzuto, and Tim McKernan as we uncover the most outrageous historical moments and mind-blowing conspiracies you won't believe actually happened. Tune into Stupiracy for your weekly dose of historical absurdity. Available wherever you get your podcasts. Remember, history is dumb, but laughing at it is smart.
Roll. Give me a little level check. So in the
Raw check.
That's good enough. Good enough. Here we go. You ready? Joe, you waiting?
Yeah, I am waiting. I certainly admire P.J. Fleck standing up like a man and saying, "This is all on me.
All on me.
It's my fault. I didn't get it done."
That's right.
That takes some.
That's
that
right.
Takes some. That takes
And
some courage.
just like after the Iowa game, he said that. Mm-hmm. Of course, then somebody said, "So in other words, you were a moron to run onto the field." And he said, "No, I had to do that to save the life of my player who was near death,
right.
Even though he was standing up 2 seconds after the play. I didn't mess that up, but it's still on me. It's all on me." And then, of course, the Wisconsin game, again, he threw it in right at the end. "Oh, by the way, it's all on me. Blame this all on me." So you should have gone for it on 4th and 2 at the 35? No, not that.
No,
that was
not
a
that.
very good decision. So you shouldn't have called timeout on 3rd and 10 and then ran a no-chance sweep instead of throwing the ball to 2 of your All-American receivers? No, that was a very good play. And what else did we have? We had another major screw up, right?
Are we to conclude they're still building? Is that what we have to take away from this?
Everyone who's talking about this game and diagnosing it in various ways, they have a better offensive line and a better defensive line, and those are two important things in football.
Right.
In the grand game of football, the Badgers are better up front offensively, and especially after the big moose got hurt. And then defensively, they had a better defensive line, too.
Who's the big kid, the Australian rugby player?
Yeah. How was it pronounced?
I don't remember.
All
I know is when they were carting him off the field, my old man said they might need 2 of those to get him out of there.
Yeah, he's damn near 400.
Yeah.
I think he's damn near 400. He's an IMG guy.
So he was missed.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's just standing there. He's, it's a trip to get around him. So, he was missed. But they've actually been very lucky this year with injuries. They had some running backs hurt for a while, but they've got 3 or 4 of them. So
Martin missed a game, didn't he?
Martin missed a game, and he was limping around Saturday, too. But the guy, I'm trying to avoid having to write a blog about this. I'm waiting for someone else to bring it up. I'm hoping someone else does something on what a disingenuous weenie he is when he says, "Blame it all on me, except I'm not taking any blame," okay? It's all on me except any specific thing you mention that was an obvious, glaring mistake. He defends himself.
But you know what? He's not alone in that regard, especially in college football. Did you see what Harbaugh did?
I have no problem with him not beating himself up if he doesn't. Just don't say it's all on me. Just skip that part. Yeah. Then I don't care how much he defends himself. But skip the disingenuous bull crap about it's all on me every time you lose, except I don't mean a word of it. So
what's the bowl game?
Positivity is going to change this culture, period. Yes. When you get inside the football walls, you're going to have positivity hit you right in the face.
Bam.
Before we get into bowl games, let me say something. Oh, Paul Chryst, the Wisconsin coach, 180. He and PJ, 180. Mm-hmm. He's a quiet guy who all he thinks about is coaching. Yep. He's friends of mine cover him. They love him because when the cameras are off, they go in there, and every 8th word is an F-bomb. And he's, he's just a hardcore old-time football coach. And the one great snapshot we ever got of him was when they played that Miami game with the turnover chain. Remember that? Mm-hmm. And they had the microphone and they could read his lips. And basically he basically said, take that turnover chain and bleeping where the sun doesn't shine, you know? Mm-hmm. So he's that kind of guy. But he, I think, made hay with these people because the Gophers win the Axe for the first time in 15 years, right?
Last year.
Yep. And they're renting it out at weddings and stuff. They're renting it. They're taking it places. And you know damn well, he said, they won this thing once in 15 years and they think they own it. Mm-hmm. You know, they think, you know damn well, in a quiet, profane way, right. He said, we're going to go back and take that thing back so they can't, you know, rent it out.
Well, I read, and I don't know who wrote it. It must have been a Madison reporter or somebody, you know, over there. He had a quote saying, "I don't like to run on the field." Yeah. He did say this was before the game.
He comes on last. The team comes out and then he comes walking out. But I will say, in the history of watching football, no coach shoved it down another coach's throat more than Christ on that 70-yard screen pass. Because they were sitting on that baby. Mm-hmm. They were sitting on that baby all day. It's 3rd and 6. The Gophers still have a chance. They have this exotic defense that they load up the other side of the field. And Otzi told me that they thought all week they thought they could score on it. Yeah. So they waited for the moment, and then they ran it in 70 yards, and that's the ball game right there. That Groshek. It was such a good play, a white guy took it 70 yards.
I think they need a better boat, too. That dented aluminum fishing boat doesn't do much. I don't like that boat.
No. Well,
Get me a wood boat.
It just shows that they didn't have any boat people helping them with this. You know, some jackass from ESPN Game Day said, get us a boat. So they just went and go get a real boat.
Dented Alumacraft or a Lund or something. Yeah. Get me a real boat.
Call Big John. Call Big John. Yeah. He would have got you a real boat.
Hell, he would have brought up the Nellie Bly.
Yes, right. Yes.
The size of Northrop Auditorium.
Yes.
That made a bad optic, though. The snow was falling. It was festive, and the camera cut. I said to myself, no.
Yeah, what is that?
Thing.
$2,000 maybe?
Oh, $500 at the top.
Would you have taken Kenny's pontoon over that
thing? Would be just as bad.
Okay.
Jeez Louise.
You're right.
You're going to do the boat thing. Do it up. Get a nice boat. Run around the field with it. The whole deal.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yes, that's why did that come out there. I got a short.
It was fun. Tell me what bowl game they're going to.
Either the Citrus in where they went with the Killer.
Yep.
Which is higher is the 3rd tier, or the Outback, which is the 4th tier, but that's the one in Tampa, and they're both on New Year's Day. So, but they had a big turnout in Orlando. I think Wisconsin plays. If Wisconsin plays Ohio State close, they'll go to the Rose Bowl. Mm-hmm. Then Penn State will go to either the Citrus or the Outback, and then the Gophers will go to the other one. But if Wisconsin gets drilled, then Penn State will go to the Rose Bowl probably. And then the Gophers and Wisconsin will divide up the Citrus and the Outback, I think. Now, Louie was trying to tell me a couple of weeks ago that the Orange Bowl was hot to trot for the Gophers, but I can't imagine.
Louie Nanny?
Yeah. But I can't imagine that they'd been up here a few times. But I can't imagine after that, 38-17 would be a hard sell for the Orange Bowl. So,
why are the Vikings 1-6 west of the Mississippi under the Zim regime? 1-6.
Well, a couple of the times it's been Seattle, who are good. Who else did they lose to? Did they lose any dogs out there? The Rams were great last year.
Trying to think.
I don't know if they lost.
Well, remember they got clubbed by the 49ers on opening night a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah, wasn't that one of Zim's first? That was
either
Zim's
year
first
1 or 2. I can't remember.
Yeah, they stunk that night, and we all thought they were going to be rotten, and they were good. Mm-hmm. And I think they got beat in San Diego once too, didn't they?
This is Zim's 4th year already.
4th?
Oh no, it's got to be year 6.
6th.
You've got to be kidding
me. No, 6. Yeah, 214, right? Yeah, because Ticey through 2010, Leslie through 3. years. And,
no, Chile was till 2010.
Chile. What am I talking about, Tyson? Chile 2010. Then Les took over halfway through that year and then had 3 years. And then, Zim 2014.
Why does this chart of the losses show only going back to 2015? Vikings have won only one of 6 games west of the Mississippi.
Maybe they didn't play out there in 2014.
Oh, maybe that's it.
Under
Mike Zimmer.
Or somebody screwed it up.
You like their chances tonight?
No.
I don't know.
I think they got a 30% shot.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle's good.
That's good. That's good. This is a non-endorsement.
That's right.
Kenny's not going to watch. We're big on suspicions tonight.
Kenny's not watching?
Yes.
Well, because he doesn't want to jinx the club. He said every time I get invested, they lose.
Oh, okay.
And now you saying, they have 30%. That's a 30%. That's dismissive. So they're going to win now as a result of that.
We'll see how they do blocking Jadeveon. Last time Jadeveon was on primetime, he was a monster. So we'll see if he's a monster tonight.
Your paper on Sunday gave you essentially a 3-part column.
Now I wrote that thing 10 days earlier,
right?
And they were grunting. And I said, "Now, do you want me to just make a blog out of this thing, or do you want to run it because there's some pretty good stuff, and I want to get the photo in, right?" Mm-hmm. And they said, "We'll get it in." And then they finally, I don't know what the hell they did. I was losing hope because Ford versus Ferrari might be out of the movies, be out of the theaters.
But this is more that you've written about cars in your life.
But here's the deal. I went to Ford versus Ferrari.
So did I.
And I enjoyed it.
I did too.
And I thought, okay, and all these, I remember those early years at Donnybrook when these drivers were going up to Donnybrook to run in the Can-Am and stuff. So I was going to track down Jerry Hansen. Nobody had his number, but then I went out and saw Dick Rowe. Mm-hmm. And then Dick started breaking out these photos of these Shelby Mustangs and Cobras that he owned, and the one that's pictured there with Towsley Ford on the side of it. Only 2 of the 29 had the wide fenders on them, and then when I got to the part about that he sold it back in '67 for $5,500, and
he was happy.
And somebody just got $2.1 million for it. I thought that was worth writing about.
I think so too.
And then you find all the dead guys. That starts driving you crazy too. Man, they didn't care, did they?
No, and it took a lot of changes before F1 came around and got that taken care of.
One of the lines in the guy playing Phil Remington in Ford versus Ferrari, as he's trying to get Matt Damon to stop being so grumpy.
Sometimes they just don't get out of the car.
Sometimes they just don't get out of the car. Right. And Enzo Ferrari did you watch 24-Hour War yet?
Yep.
And his quote is, he told his sons, "Don't get close to the drivers. They're going to die."
Wow. I've now seen Ford versus Ferrari, the 24-Hour War, and Shelby American.
I did not watch Shelby American.
And as I'm watching Shelby American, I kept thinking, did I see this before? It's virtually a carbon copy of the 24-Hour War.
Oh, okay.
So I thought, oh, my word, I'm seeing this twice. But no, it's different.
He was an interesting cat.
Yeah.
8 wives.
Well, they think. Because that's entertained in Shelby American.
Okay.
And his buddies were saying, well, he told them they were married. And it would be a buddy of his pretending to be a justice of the peace. See? And then when it came to it came to end it, he didn't have any obligation.
Wow. What an honorable fellow he was. Yeah. Really? Now I got to watch that tonight.
Oh, yeah. Something like that. And then, in the movie you see him selling the same car 3 times in one day.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Let this car leave the floor.
No, that's right. Boy, did you see in the 24, they have Christian Bale playing him in the movie?
Yeah.
And they kind of...
Christian Bale playing...
Ken Miles.
Ken Miles.
And they kind of show they worked on his nose a little to make it a little pointed. Yeah. In real life, he could have dug worms. It's unbelievable. It's a beak of all time, man. It's unbelievable.
What does car racing rate now on America's sports pages?
I suppose
down south you get NASCAR.
Yeah, but boy, it's NASCAR. It's gone.
It's a shell of what it used to be.
It's the corporations who 15 years ago were all fighting to get in it. Yeah. Now are bailing left and right. I mean, Joe Gibbs is dropping down from 4 cars to 3. One of the other big ones is dropping down. They can't find sponsors.
Is the 24-hour of Le Mans, is that still even on TV even a little bit? Like, do they check in on it once in a while?
There's an auto. There must be an auto channel.
Well, Motor Trend
TV. Isn't Speed Network?
Motor Trend has a channel.
Yeah, well, one of those has to be showing it. But a hybrid won it this year, Joe.
Really?
A Toyota hybrid.
Oh. Well, the day's coming when it'll be won by an all-electric.
A Prius. Yeah. Here they are, the 24 hours of Le Mans. Who can put in the, Boy, did Kenny Miles get screwed on that deal, though.
Just terrible. You end up loving and hating Henry Ford.
The guy who plays him is a great character actor.
Yeah.
I don't know who that guy is.
But imagine the future. Imagine an electric car pit stop. They'll have to have super fast charging.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's probably going to happen.
Oh, yeah. People forget, and you hadn't quite started at the Strib at the Tribune when they were at their zenith.
No.
But God, we just covered the hell. In the middle of the football season, we gave both the St. Paul and Minneapolis paper gave a huge pub to those Can-Am races.
Well, think of the names that showed up there.
All of them. Jackie Stewart was there in 71.
Dan Gurney, McLaren.
Parnelli.
Peter Revson, Surtees, Jackie Stewart.
Yeah,
it's amazing. It just all seems to have disappeared. Regular schlubs like me can now take a car up to Donnybrook and run on the track.
Yeah, I should repeat the Bobby Yates story, right? With when we went up there with the wife and the Yatesy, we were going to go up to Brainerd, stay at Grandview with the brides, and on Thursday after the show, Bob was informed by our co-employer that he was no longer employed at here at the Hubbard Empire, which took a little of the celebratory
zest
out of the weekend. So it put Bob in a but he still went along for the trip. We drove up one car, and Bob was we ended up taking up 2 cars because I think they were afraid Bob would get really grumpy and have to go home early. But so now it's kind of a couple of solemn days, and then Sunday they're going to the races, and I go out early because I got to cover them. And Katie, who's been out there with me and dropped me off like on Friday at the races, has learned the route, right?
Right.
And so she gets there Sunday noon, 1 o'clock. Yeah, turn here, go in there, show them your pass. Pretty soon, she's got Yates' car lined up about third to drive the race. And they're saying, where you going? I wasn't there, but they're going, get that car. Because he had a little Porsche or some damn thing.
Yeah, it was a black one.
Yeah, I don't know.
He had a black Porsche and a black Corvette.
She got him lined up to drag.
They gave her a bib number.
That pretty much ended it. I think he and Kevin, his bride of the time, headed on back and didn't make it to the end of the day. So that was hilarious.
I tried to drive on the Elkhart Lake track, Road America. And apparently there are days when you can.
Oh, really?
But I was there when you couldn't.
Wow. Boy, remember when they used to...
everything.
When the Can-Am was big, though, they'd draw 100,000 people at Road America.
Oh, yeah.
To watch that there.
Yeah.
Is that when you beached the car?
No. That was the summer of 2018. I beached the car.
More recently.
This was Elkhart was this spring I went, in May.
Oh, really?
Sports Park Club of America races.
Wow.
Really neat stuff.
Do they still draw some people?
No.
That is in Kettle Moraine, right? In that area out in the middle of nowhere?
No, not really. You're just north of Milwaukee, really.
Oh,
and,
I thought you were more
below
out.
Lake, what's the big lake?
Gitchagumi.
Winnipeg. What the hell big lake?
Winnebago.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
It's east of Winnebago.
No, wait. Winnebago is in Madison. Winnebago is
the lake in Madison is Mendota.
I thought there were two.
You sure it's not Get You Good?
No.
Okay, when you start talking water here, I'm bowing to you because you're a buddy with the lake detective.
Football team. I want a boat.
That's right.
I want a boat.
I don't blame you.
I read a neat piece, Pat, that there's some modern era quarterbacks that are single-handedly keeping the NFL alive. The kid for Baltimore,
Lamar Jackson.
Wow.
He's a player.
Baker Mayfield, Mahomes.
Yeah.
I never miss a Mahomes
Deshaun
game.
Watson in Houston is worth watching, But, yeah, it's it makes that's every time they've tried to start one of these other leagues, except why does this go dead every once in a while here? Do we know?
Check 1, 2.
Okay.
Are you cutting out?
I cut out a little once in a while. Could be me.
Yeah, push it all the way.
Is your blue button on?
Yeah, the blue button.
Okay, and your red thing's on. You're on. You're on the air.
All right, that's good.
It might just be your headphones that are cutting out.
Might be my lousy headphones.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. We don't like to let the public know when we're having screw-ups. I've always been very well at handling them. As Reavers, can you tell them, what the hell is going on?
And I'll say, Pat, he's still on the phone. We're good.
I think the NFL has done a great job apparently ordering TV to not show empty seats, because once in a while they make a mistake and that camera pans a big stadium and you can see empty seats.
Cincinnati announced 39, which means they had 20, right?
I got news for you.
Yeah.
I was in Dallas on Thursday for the Bills and the Cowboys.
Okay.
Yep.
Why?
You're a sick human being.
I go to a road Bills game every year, as you know.
How are the Bills fans as they kick their ass?
I was standing we were pre-partying with some people, including a Dallas Cowboys season ticket holder, and he said, I think the stadium's 10 years old, he has never seen an opposing fan base take over the way Buffalo did on Thursday. But that crowd.
In their house.
They announced 92,000 people at that stadium. They sell as many standing room only tickets as...
Well, the two end zones are basically big bars where you just stand there.
You couldn't move in the stadium.
It was that full, huh?
It was that full.
Because of Buffalo.
Yes.
But there's all kinds of... I got some frightening attendance news as far as football. I happened to be clicking, and I clicked to Notre Dame at Stanford.
Okay.
Notre Dame, the magic of Notre Dame. Notre Dame comes to town, boy. There weren't 20,000 people there.
Really?
Wow.
That was,
but Stanford's not very good this year.
Well, they're having a terrible year, but it's Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Don't you circle that on the calendar when they come to town?
Oh, hell yes. They sell out here. Vikings don't have a problem.
No,
there's no empty seats at a Vikings game.
No, but there's
Green Bay, no empty seats.
It's college football is hurting, and there's a lot of places. Washington's not drawing anybody.
Nope.
They're they got 30,000 empty seats.
Anytime Miami has a home game, it turns into a home game for the visiting team.
The Dolphins?
Yesterday they were playing Philly. They ended up beating them, but that was 35,000 Philly fans at that stadium.
What happened to the Eagles? What the hell?
You were right about Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
He's not that good.
No, I'm not a big fan. So, can we have our... So far, Joe, we've had 6 weeks.
Of what?
This is episode 7.
This is number 7.
Number 7
well,
is Monday Night Sports.
We didn't have one last week, so that doesn't count.
Right. But this is still number 7.
Okay, so we don't count that one. So the first week, we didn't have a sports person of the week.
Right.
The next 2 weeks, we had Stefan Diggs. The next week, we forgot.
Right.
Yep.
The next week, I forgot. I was here by myself.
Yep.
And then the next week, we had Stefan Diggs again.
Right.
So we've had 3.
Well, he hasn't played yet.
We can't have him this week.
We can't have him this week, so we have a new sports person of the week.
FBS. It's a snow globe there in Minneapolis.
Wait.
Okay.
This week we didn't forget.
No,
we just don't have a highlight.
Well, I've got the highlights, but I don't know why it's.
Because you get a little preview there on the highlights.
No, I'm going to take a different one.
Okay.
Because I was trying to get that specific one that you wanted, so I'm just going to give you
who it is. Pat.
Our sports person of the week is Jack Cohn, the quarterback for Wisconsin, who had a hellacious game. And here we go.
Taylor. Cohn goes back, takes it downfield. Davis has got it! And Wisconsin stretches the lead in this blizzard. They play much better today than they have.
I got news for that guy. He'd never been in a blizzard if he thinks that was a blizzard.
It was pretty, though. It was pretty on TV.
But, oh, God. And the photos?
Yeah,
ooh, did you
wonderful.
see the Pioneer Press had some good photos, too, but the Star Tribune, Aaron Levinsky's, that was a painting on the cover of the guy with the snow did. Wonderful work for that. But Jack Cohn, the reason I got excited about him, Joe, he was 15 for 22, 280 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was kind of a nondescript guy. But his hometown, Joe, Sayville, New York. Sayville, New York, south side of the Long Island Sound. And you got to look up you want to hang out in Sayville, New York. It's got all these wonderful little scenes and walking areas.
Is he the kid who was the good lacrosse player?
Yes. Yeah, I believe it was.
He changed to football and he was somewhere else and came to Wisconsin?
No, I don't think. I think he started at Wisconsin, but I think he was. No, wait, where's the lacrosse player? Who is the
I thought he was a lacrosse player.
Maybe he was, being from Sayville, New York. He probably is. But Mom and Dad, it doesn't look like a place where the wait staff lives. They, I think they live further in towards the city.
Hey, do you live around here? I don't think it's that.
It's halfway to It's halfway to Montauk. They said, and so anyway. He was a star at Sayville, New York High School.
Everybody you live around.
Just ask him. Just ask him.
He might be a guy whose dad takes a helicopter to work.
Yeah, he could be. But these, they had that Hornibrook guy that they invested 2.5 years for, and they finally, he wanted to transfer, and they said, "Go ahead, son.
Get him.
We'll try somebody that we can actually trust." And they like this kid because he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. So.
How did they lose to Illinois?
Don't know. Weird stuff going on. That was for sure. But Lovey had her going there for what? He had a 4-game winning streak, right?
But he lost to Northwestern.
Not lost.
They got
pounded unmercifully.
Beat Illinois
29-10.
Wow.
Beat them bloody in
Illinois,
in Champaign, where they had at least 12,000 people. Did you see those photos?
Well, Gophers Northwestern, they didn't have any people.
No. I don't know how the hell they, it's
TV money.
I mean, over here, you're winning. You got 53,000. Last year for that game, they had 18. The last 3 home games last year, they didn't have 20.
Every time the cameras showed the Northwestern bench, though, I saw a bunch of people I know.
Oh, really?
I walked to the game. Bought a ticket at the window.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Do you want a ticket? No, we're good here.
No, it's college football is hurting in a lot of ways because of the just people aren't.
Did you see Harbaugh go nuts in his post-game presser after the Ohio State?
No, I missed it. What did he do?
So he went ballistic
because he got his ass kicked.
Well, they did.
They've never beaten him.
Apparently, the question asked was, "What's the difference between Michigan and Ohio State?"
Mm-hmm.
And Harbaugh didn't like that question too much, which I thought that's a legitimately
What do you want me to say? You could have said, "How come you stink against Ohio State?" That could have been the question. I wouldn't be surprised if he bails.
You wouldn't be?
No.
Really?
To do what?
To do TV or
to
he'd go back to the
NFL. By the way, the guy at the Washington quit today, Chris Peterson.
Really?
Yeah, the guy at Boise that the Gophers wanted to hire.
Well, they fired Helton at USC this morning.
That's what people think. Peterson might be going there.
This should quiet. PGA talk of moving around should quiet down a little now.
Yeah, it should. But as we pointed out in our Turkey of the Year column, I just signed a new 2-year contract, so I'll be able to cover his first game as the Notre Dame coach at Florida State on Labor Day night, 2020.
I predict he will come out of retirement more
you are predicting. I got one.
There's no way that was the last Turkey of the Year.
I got one retirement so far. I retired 2 years ago and came back to give it to PJ. And now I retired, and I got to tell you, the main reason I retired was so I could use the punchline. Get everybody fired up that, hey, he's finally leaving, and then say, oh, by the way, I signed a 2-year
Judd
contract.
nailed it years ago. You are the Brett Favre of the Star Tribune.
You're going to abandon that gig. There's no way.
I did admit, the only rule with the turkeys there are no rules.
That's a good rule to have.
That's your opening.
Well, there was a guy that tweeted at you. I don't remember how recent it was, but saying, well, you should be the turkey of the year. And you said, already happened.
Yeah, right. Now we signed off with that in 2017. So, it gets to be about Monday of that week, and you say, what the hell else am I going to write?
But you've been keeping notes all year.
Yeah, well, to some extent. Yes, I do. Anyway.
See, I would love to be on this hockey road trip with the Wild.
How about them boys
Miami,
picking it up a little bit?
Was it Miami, Tampa, and North Carolina?
Ooh.
Be a good time to be on that road trip.
Yeah, I wish I was down there visiting. I would go up to the Tampa game.
Let me see if I got that right. I have it right here. At Florida tomorrow. At Tampa Bay.
You can get a ticket for that Florida game.
At Carolina. The kid I used to have was at the Florida game last week, and he texted me and said, are we early or people just don't show up here?
What was he? He was in town?
Probably doing work there. And
went to the game.
Went to a hockey game.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a crap location, too, out in the
I thought they had relocated downtown.
No, basketball did. But
so they don't share the same arena?
They're damn near in Fort Lauderdale.
No, they're on the Turnpike.
Wow.
They're on the. When I went up to see the grandkids when Delray Beach, they were closer to the hockey arena there than they were downtown Miami.
Yeah.
So
I had no idea. I thought they relocated.
No, it just sits out there, and there's a couple of bars around.
Why are they expanding? Why don't they move that club?
$700 million from Seattle, $600 million from Vegas. They're dividing up that 700, so our guy Craig Leopold gets, and I'm sure the new expansion team doesn't get any of it, right?
Probably not.
And you probably get a share based on how long you've been in the league. Get 25 million.
By the way, speaking of that, I was informed in my trip to Dallas that they're already making plans, the Bills Mafia, for next year's road trip, Vegas.
Oh, really?
God help.
Are you going to go?
Oh, hell yes. I'm going to go.
Will Oakland be in Vegas by this
Oakland's
time next
first year is in Vegas next year.
And I've said that I want to get Vegas. I want to get rid of Detroit and have Vegas in our division with Chicago, Green Bay, and Minnesota, because each year they'd have 50,000 people from those three towns. Mm-hmm. But Buffalo ain't bad either.
Oh, they will show up.
Nobody lives in Buffalo anymore. But everybody who used to live in Buffalo loves the Bills.
They still do.
Yeah.
What do you mean nobody lives in Buffalo?
The town is Rust Belt City.
But when they announced what we were still doing the afternoon show, and Pat had this great tirade about, not tirade, but how when Oakland was moving to Vegas, God help when the Packers and the Bills show up there, because no girl will go out of work.
No, I said if you're a 35-year-old hooker in Vegas, you better be working. You better be going to the gym every day, baby, because when that NFL comes, you got 10 weekends. You're gonna kill yourself. You're gonna, 6 a.m. to 2 a.m.
Oh my God!
You got a 4-hour nap, a shower. Let's go. Come on,
to freshen up.
I don't like the cartoon bubble.
14. You're gonna have 14 a day.
If we're still doing Monday Night Sports Talk a year from now, we're going to the Bills Vegas game,
let's
baby.
Go.
I wouldn't mind going out there for a hockey game.
I'm going to your alma mater Wednesday. I might go back for the game Saturday. You want to go Saturday?
Who do we got?
You got very difficult, Texas A&M Commerce.
That's who we played, was it 2 years ago?
A couple of years ago.
Because the bride and I went down for that game. It was a beautiful.
Is that the one they lost?
Yeah, well, they were edged, but there was a bit of a athletic mismatch between the Mankato boys and these kids from Texas.
I don't think there's any mismatch this year.
Did St. John's win?
Yes.
Yeah, now they go
55 to 26.
Yeah, they killed them. Now they go to Wheaton, Illinois for the quarterfinals. Wheaton's supposed to be really good. But Mount Union, the behemoth, got upset by North Central one of the few times.
What school is, what's it called at Wheaton?
Wheaton
College?
University.
I think
college.
that's a small.
Wheaton?
religion-based
I think it
school.
is a religious-based school, but they are very they're outstanding in Division III athletics,
Really?
in a lot of it, Division III athletics. Yeah, it's supposed to be real good.
A Christian residential liberal arts college and graduate school in Wheaton,
There ain't
Illinois.
any such thing as a
Protestant.
Christian liberal arts school.
They're Protestant.
They're Protestant?
Yep.
Maybe the refs at the Chaska St. Thomas game are
Oh,
graduates.
Oh, my God almighty.
Ruck's not speaking to me.
That was as bad as that was as bad as Cretan Blaine. What year was that? 88 or 9?
That was 88 because
88.
I sent a direct message to John over at the high school league.
Yeah.
It said something about the 88 Blaine game, and I said, it still hurts for some people. Please take that stat down. He said some people just can't let go.
This was brutal. It was brutal. They drove them down the field to get them down in the 10, and then the Chaska kid pushes the guy out of the way, catches the ball, and the knobheads doing the game on the radio said, well, you can't expect something like that to be called at this juncture of the game.
But they've called three of them.
They've called 3 of them.
Well, in one of the plays, too, they had accused one of the guys of spearing, but his head, I mean, he went in with his back like that. It was they lost, but it just, had there been no penalties and they lost, I could take
Bad day for the O'Brien family. Casey had to watch his Gophers lose, and then Dan had to watch his.
How good is this Christian Vassar kid from Wayzata?
He'll take the ball.
Holy man!
He's going to Mankato. 45 carries. Just let me go.
What's
I'll
Mankato? Division II?
We're Division II.
Division II.
Wait, what number are you again?
Yeah.
Mankato is rated number 1 in the country in the sport of ice hockey.
You're kidding.
No, they've lost one. Oh, they're great. They're terrific.
The Gophers didn't do well against North Dakota.
Is this year 0? Are we going for a Gopher hockey?
I think Motzko better go to the year 0. Yeah, he's got 12 freshmen. But the trouble with them, just because you have freshmen doesn't mean they're going to get better. You know,
you've got to play your freshmen.
You've got to play your
freshman.
Well, he is playing his freshman, but how bad was it?
It was 6-2, wasn't it, on Saturday?
Yeah, and then
it smoked.
Wasn't one of them was close, and then the other one was a blowout.
I can't remember which one was
the first one was a blowout. The second
Yeah.
one.
So Friday night was 6-2.
Friday night was a blowout.
But the North Dakota, they had their best crowds they've had because the North Dakota people came down and filled up the arena. Put some people in the seats. So
I have a young lady that lives in my home that will hang around at the University of Minnesota, and there's a couple of guys on the hockey team that required, her appearance, and just at a party. And I said, you know what? They got their ass kicked last night. You call them back and say, call me after you win. Call me after you win, and we'll go to coffee.
I don't want to party with you losers.
Right.
Why do you go on Thanksgiving Day? Do you go every Thanksgiving to see a Buffalo game?
No. It was just because that was the game the Mafia selected. So we're going to go to Thanksgiving
Well,
Day
you're
in
talking
Dallas.
to him like he's a family man with 2 young kids on Thanksgiving.
We always do it on Saturday.
Sure,
that's how I got away with it.
Right.
That's how I
Okay.
got
Well,
away
that's what I wondered is how, if I went and said, I'm leaving on Thanksgiving.
Listen,
Here we go.
this is the United States of America.
That's right, damn it.
The Pilgrims did not land on Saturday. They landed on Thursday.
That's right.
It's got to be Thursday.
I'm not sure the meal had anything to do with the landing.
Well, we didn't have dinner with the tribal elders on Saturday. We had it on Thursday. Damn it! Mm-hmm. You got to.
Well, Pat's the year I went to the Jacksonville playoff game, Pat said, we're not sending him to there was a big playoff game that weekend. This was the worst playoff game in the history of football. It was 10-3.
Yeah.
He said, we spare no expense on the ride with Royce.
We send our correspondent to watch Jacksonville and Buffalo play a 10-3 game. Wasn't that it? 10-3.
It was awful. It was such a bad game.
Yeah.
Well, will you ever? Maybe it'll be Buffalo, Detroit. At least you could get somewhere close some year.
Yeah, but I've already been to Detroit chronicling the Motor City Bowl for the ride with Royce.
God, the Lions are wonderful, aren't they?
And if Buffalo ever played here, you wouldn't have to worry about it.
I did last year.
Oh, so you didn't go anywhere?
No, we were right here.
That's the Viking last real home court stinkeroo, wasn't it? Buffalo kicked their ass, didn't they?
They smoked them.
Yeah.
So
Buffalo's 9-3, aren't they?
They are. They're 9-3. They have the third best record in the NFC. It's McDermott, Sean McDermott.
Oh, okay.
Who's their quarterback?
Josh Allen.
Wyoming. I saw him play.
Wyomania.
He's a Wyomaniac.
Really?
I saw him play for Wyomania.
Did you miss Wyomania this year?
Did you see what evening it was?
It was a bad weather.
It was the Friday. Last Friday.
I watched some of it.
Wasn't it last Friday?
A week ago Friday.
It was 2
Oh,
at kickoff.
no.
Two. Not 3. 2.
Right.
And the wind chill kept her about 8, 10 below. And it was, and you looked at the field and you thought it was snowing, but it was just frost.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
It was just frost.
That is another
Blackbird.
brown
and
bear.
gold.
Oh, yeah.
First down.
Oh, that was fun when you took those trips.
And they didn't leave early? Did they stay for the whole?
Oh, I'm sure they had to stay early. Stay till the end. At least the Cowboy was there. But they're bowl eligible. That's what counts.
That's good.
Yeah, I think they won 7, so good for them.
Hey, you talk about celebrating and having a good meal. A great place to go would be Jack's Cafe. Jack's Cafe is located in northeast Minneapolis, 1928 University Avenue, right on 19th. And if you are planning, maybe Chaska might be planning their championship party. Well,
Pat, didn't you have Thanksgiving there?
Yes, we did.
it
was
That's
outstanding. Right. Outstanding.
Would you have some turkey?
Yep, and you know what? We were there at 3, and the crowd was still bulging in that place. Everybody was having a good time. No, I had pheasant, but most of the crowd had turkey.
That's also because the word is out, and the Monday Night Sports Talk podcast listeners are flocking to the third-generation, family-run, owned Jack's Cafe. They're online at jackscafe.com, JAXCAFE.com. If you do have a family party, if you do have a work party, up to 300 they can accommodate. They've got the facilities, and they've got the delicious, wonderful catering menu. If it's going to be a little more intimate, maybe the GL Rookie Date Night VIP menu. For less than $100, you get a bottle of wine, a 4-course meal for 2, includes dessert, and wonderful ambiance. So go to jackscafe.com, JAXCAFE.com, or dial 612-789-7297. We'll see you at Jack's Cafe.
And while we're at it, how about Josh? He's a regular at Jack's.
Yes. Tell me about Josh Arnold.
What are you waiting for? This is Ricey for my friend, Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh and get a different point of view and get your financial future in order starting today. Sound retirement planning is important, and that's what Josh does. In fact, the Turkey of the Year consulted with Josh before it decided to retire.
Really?
With today's market volatility, it's more important than ever to work with a professional who understands your needs, a professional who understands financial markets and the option available to help you reach your goals. Call Josh for a no-obligation 48-minute consultation. Just straight talk. If you decide Josh is your guy, rest assured he will dedicate his efforts to helping you reach an optimal retirement. 952-925-5608. You want me to read the disclaimer?
Yeah, what do you got?
Investment advisor services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a registered advisor in the state of Minnesota. Past performance is no guarantee of future results, and all investments involve risk.
You know what we call that? One take.
Did you go to Josh and say, do I have enough money to quit my turkey at a year?
Yes, that's what I did, yes. Josh said, I think we can get by after 41 years of investing in it. Yes.
There, 2 service academies are in the top 25 for the first time since 1985. Air Force
and Navy
yeah.
are both.
Yeah.
Wow, big comeback year for Navy too, because they'd have a down stretch. So Air Force is 10-2. In fact, that's who they defeated Wyomania in the final game of the season. And what's Navy? 9-9? Are they 10-2 too?
They don't show me their record.
Okay.
They just tell me they're in the top 25.
Wow, good.
Yeah.
That's good. They had a show on one of the networks, Navy football, for several years, and it was pretty good. And then they canceled it, and now they had a good year. So, anyway.
Has the Army-Navy game been played yet?
No, they make those poor devils wait not only till the week after next to get it on national TV.
Because they're the only college game.
Yeah, that's the only time they'll put it on as their big prime game.
Sure. Did our president attend that game last year?
I think he did.
Yes. Was it Philly?
It's always in Philly.
Not always. Sometimes they've been in Baltimore a few times, and they went to.
Didn't they play in the Redskins stadium one year too?
Maybe they
recently.
did. Yeah, I'm sure he'll show up though. That's he can get away with showing up for that crowd.
I don't think the service academies would boo him.
It has been in Philly 2017, 18, and will be there 2019 this year.
Yeah, it was for ever and ever. It was always in Philly, but it moved around. They went out the Rose Bowl one year, right?
Couple in Baltimore. It looks like they
you never covered one, did you?
Never did.
I wanted to, and I never did.
Yeah.
One mistake. I got just one little correction.
You're not retired.
No, the guy from the Denver Post. Mm-hmm. I got one correction. Mm-hmm. Change all the armies to Navy and change all the navies to Army. That's the legend. That's the legend from the 50s. He's sitting in he finishes. He goes to some bar in Philly, looks up at the screen, and he sees he got the gold helmets mixed up, and he says, "I got one small correction. Change the navies to Army and the armies to Navy."
They say to him, "Good catch."
Yeah, good catch. That's right.
Wasn't that the Hank Keyboard?
Yeah,
line?
Hank
Good
Keyboard.
catch, Hank.
That's when Hank was covering the
Winnipeg 500.
The Winnipeg to St. Paul Winter Carnival 500
snowmobile race.
Oh man! And they stopped, I think, 3 times, and then brought it in.
Yeah.
The one year that he calls up and says, "Bemidji," and Glenn Redmond said, "You're supposed to be in Alexandria, Hank," and he said, "Good catch." I told you my favorite Hank is I was about my 3rd night there at the St. Paul paper, and they're having a all sports fishing contest in Stillwater on the St. Croix, and all the teams got participants there. The Vikings and the hockey team, North Stars, Gophers and the Twins have some front office people. The team's playing, they don't. So we had Hank covering it, and Hank calls me up, and he is blasted. Oh. And so we're on the phone for about 10, 12 minutes, and I got 2 paragraphs. And he says, and I had to introduce myself to him, and he said, "How much is that?" I said, 2 graphs, Hank, and he says, "Oh, bleep." And he said, "Call this guy and ask him for some more information and put it on there." He was a 12.
That's old school newspaper, huh?
Yeah.
That's when the room was full?
Yeah. The other great Hank story was he's at the Northwest Sportsman Club thing in St. Paul. Yeah. And he used to go over and drink with those guys, in the back room of at the Northwest Sportsman's Club, and we'd run a big Sunday piece we'd run a big Sunday piece on it, and Hank or somebody get paid off for it, but we'd run it, and the linotype machine got stuck.
Yeah.
And
what's that? That's
back in the days, this is so far ago, they still typed it up on the linotype machine, and they're typing it for the early run, which is like 6 o'clock. And there's 5 words, and then it's all like G's. Oh. It's like 25 more inches of G's, that's all there is. And they slap her on and print her and run it off, and they deliver the early paper. They deliver the early paper over to the Sportsman's Club, and Hank, proudly unveils his story, and it's like 5,000 G's already. Oh, God.
We lost him a few years ago, right?
Oh, yeah, quite a few. Yeah, Hank the Tank. He's the one that said, "Don't leave the boat." Yeah. The fishing opener one, "Don't leave the boat." And then he didn't show up for 3 days, and they said, we finally tried to track him down and said, yeah, his boat tipped over on opening day, and he tried to swim to shore. Had a heart seizure. Don't leave the boat.
Yeah. Stay with the boat. Stay with the boat. Stay with the boat.
The boat.
You got to stay
row
with the
boat. That's what we're saying. Row the boat.
Get a better boat.
We got to get the guy to say "broat" and then say "row the boat."
Row the boat.
We got to get Dr.
Steve
Brule.
John C. Riley, right? Dr. Steve Brule.
What's the most important thing to know for going on a boat?
Most important thing is safety.
Nope. Most important thing is stay in the boat.
And they should play this at the stadium.
Yes, they should. They would love that. They would be cheering that.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, Lord.
All right, fellas.
We're good, right?
I think so, huh?
That was a fine show and it had the entertainment value we're looking for.
If you would like to find more, go to GarageLogic.com and patronize our sponsors, Josh Arnold and Jack's Cafe.
Let's get some more spots.